Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Let's Get Loud podcast. This is a solo podcast episode with A. And if you guys are tuning in on YouTube, you will see that I am wearing my Chiefs jersey because Chiefs Nation. And it is the first football game of, Chiefs football game of the season this year. And actually, something really special just happened. Um, I just told Alfie there was a little bit of a surprise that I was planning with him, and I am taking him. Another friend of mine is taking her son, and we are going on a mother son trip to New York City to see the Chiefs play the Giants on September 21st, which is crazy. Alfie's reaction was like this, you guys. I really expected for it to be like a grander reaction. It's fine. He's a teenager though, so like it's fine. But I'm sure he's grateful and I'm sure he's excited. But anyways, what a night over here. What a week. How is back to school, everyone? Not gonna lie. Neil's like, why are you so happy? And I'm like, maybe it's because I have 4 seconds to myself. Listen, I love summer, but we're basically all together all the time. And when they go to school in the morning and I'm like, and I sit in my pajamas and drink my coffee and write in my journal. And then I go into my office and I sit and work like this for uninterrupted periods of time longer than 27 minutes. Yes, please. So our back to school has been great, and I hope the same is for all of you guys. And I'm loving the routine that comes with back to school. So, speaking of routine, I want to talk to you guys about how it's going with the 20-day reset. So, if you're paying attention in the Your Way Weight Loss world, we decided to do a 20-day reset starting September 1st. And what I decided we were going to do is we're going to choose 4 pillars to focus on and really connect with that. So, I've actually had, not actually, but and I don't want to say even I, it makes me seem like I'm this amazing human, but like I am a person who's been on a wellness journey for over 10 years now, and I stay very connected to that wellness journey. And when I increase my connection, when I increase my awareness, I learn something. So I guess I say that to you just to remind you that you also have things to learn. I think we get to a dangerous place when we feel like we know everything. We feel like we've done everything. We feel like there's nothing that we could do to adjust or be better. And I don't sit in that space because I realize that this is an evolution and it could always be better. So, wow. All this to say, I just want to encourage you guys to keep learning. Keep learning. It's really powerful. So, there's been a few things that have come up. Number one was the scale. And it's crazy because if you were like, are you doing it that much different? Are you showing up that much different than before? And I'd be like, no, not really. But clearly I am. So as of this morning, since September 1st, I'm recording this live, it's September 5th, I was down 3 pounds on the scale, which is crazy. Now, my goal is not to lose a bunch of weight during the 20-day reset. That's not my focus. My focus is the actions. But it's also the scale is saying to me, hey, what you're doing right now, this is what the scale is saying to me. It's not saying good job. It's not saying you're awesome. It's not saying you're worthy. The scale is saying, hey, these changes you've implemented, you're creating a calorie deficit. That's all that means. Okay. And I was seeing some comments on our community group too of people that said like, "Oh my gosh, the scale was up from yesterday and I don't understand. I didn't do anything wrong." And I really want to leave space for natural weight fluctuation. Please don't think that what you do the day before is going to automatically reflect on the scale the next morning. That's just not how our bodies work. Our bodies are more complex than that. So if you are coming back to September, you're doing the 20-day reset, or maybe you're doing another program, maybe you're doing this on your own, whatever you're doing, however you're showing up, and the scale's not moving, just like give it time, okay? Give it time, and consistency will get you there. So there was two really big realizations that happened for me too when it came to journaling. So I had been journaling or have been journaling for a good year now, and I when I was sharing my journaling with people, often people would say, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to write about. So, the 20-day reset, when I created the program, I decided I was going to have a journal prompt with every single day. And even though I made the journal prompts, I'm doing the program and I'm loving the journal prompts. And I wanted to share two with you that really got me thinking. So today's was, where do I usually lose focus on my goal and how can I support myself this time? These questions are so important for you to ask yourself. And so I said the most common time is when the kids get home from school. That's when I tend to lose focus. I'm hungry, they're hungry, I'm making them a snack. Often I'm just grabbing random things. So I asked myself, what can I do to support myself? So sit and make a plan. Prioritize every day before my day gets started, sitting with my 20-day reset and making my plan. And what I mean by that is, and there's actually another section in the 20-day reset that's like, what does your day look like? And this is my plan. So it's like, what work commitments do I have? What does my work day look like? When will I move my body? And when will I eat my meals? Because I like to plan it out. Like I like to have nourished my body, right before I go for my walk, because my walk's a pretty long walk. Um, but I don't want to eat right before and then I want to eat after. Anyways, so I just like to map it out. And also, what am I going to eat? That's really important. Like, I don't want to go to my fridge at lunchtime and be like, what am I going to eat? It's not that I don't want to do that. I have awareness that I realize that when I do that, I do not make the choices I'm more likely to make a choice that does not align with my focus. And so just that knowledge piece is important. So a plan, and this is what I wrote too, a plan that needs to be realistic, easy, and fast. So when I say to myself, oh, your third meal of the day will be energy balls that you're going to make at some point today. Guess what? She never made the energy balls. Like, I love fast. I love efficient. And I've realized this about myself. I will always grab what's easy because I want to move on to the next task. I want to go back to work. I want to get for my walk. Time is my most precious resource. And I know this about myself. Now, you're different than me. So the message for you is not in your food has to be fast. The message for you is, I need you to ask yourself the question, when do I usually lose focus? And then when you answer that, I want you to say, so maybe yours is nighttime eating. Okay. And then the question now is, how can I support myself during this time? So you could say, I could pre-portion my snack. Okay. I could choose a different snack. I could move the chips in the basement. I could talk to my spouse. Like, these are all things that you could do to support yourself. Maybe if you lose focus on the weekend. So then I would like you to ask yourself, how can I support myself during this time? So maybe it's having food in your fridge. Maybe it's not over restricting Monday to Friday. So you want to binge on Saturday and Sunday. Like, what do we need to figure out here? So I really wanted to model kind of the thinking for you. It's not about the problem. It's not about my solution to the problem. It's about the thought process in my brain. Where do I lose focus? And how can I support myself this time? So then I said, have my snack before they get home. So what happens, I find for myself, is when I go for a walk, I don't actually feel hungry right away when I get back from my walk. Fun fact, exercise actually suppresses hunger. But then what happens, I feel like then all of a sudden I'm like, hungry. So I had planned, because I stuck to my plan of pre-planning, that I was going to consume, I have these like sparkling beverages that are 40 grams of protein, and I was going to have an ounce of almonds. That's what my after walk snack was going to be. Okay. So I pre measured out my almonds before I went for my walk and I had them on my counter. And I've been doing this with my water too. So I have water goals. I pre make up my jug of water and I have it on the counter. And it's such a tiny little tweak to my environment. But for me, unlocking and realizing I will always choose fast has unlocked for me, make the choice you want fast. And for me, having the almonds already pre-portioned means that I'm not then in the moment that I'm having my, like, I'm zero hungry before my walk because I've just eaten. So if I can pre kind of portion my next meal while I'm not hungry, I'm winning because I'm less likely to take those random bites. I'm less likely to just grab what the kids are having, which there's nothing wrong with it, but I just find it's not being mindful and it's not like sitting and savoring and enjoying. And that's what I want to do. That's how I want to show up. So having my snack before the kids got home, and this was another piece too. So I'd always time my walk that I would literally get home like 4 minutes before the kids got through the door. Remember, maximum efficiency of minutes. So then I said, reverse that. Give yourself 15 more minutes. Give yourself a little bit of buffer. Give yourself a chance to get in the door, get changed, get a drink, have your snack, or even just prep the kids' snack and yours is ready, and then you're good. And that felt so much better today. So, like I said, I just really wanted to share with you guys that kind of like aha moment that I was able to unpack because I asked myself the question and I was honest with myself. Listen, we're having a free trial right now, which actually, if you're watching this live, ends tonight. So if you've been considering this, please just join the free trial. 1, 2, 3, go. We'll figure it out tomorrow morning, kind of thing. So I've been having conversations with a lot of new people who have been coming into Your Way Weight Loss. And we're talking a lot about calories and we're talking a lot about weight loss. And I'm seeing a lot of people still trying to lose weight with a diet, even though you're at Your Way Weight Loss that doesn't have a diet, and wanting to count calories or wanting to count points or wanting to follow certain diety rules. And it's like, I need to remind you that what is going to work is you starting to think differently and you having the skill. That's a skill of you figuring out why you're acting a certain way. And then you having the confidence in yourself and the just like, I don't want to say motivation, it's not the right word, but the like determination that you're like, okay, now I know why I'm acting that way. Now I'm going to figure it out. That requires determination. And maybe you guys have never even taken the time to think. I want you guys, as you're listening to this podcast right now, I want you to think about a behavior. I want you to think about a habit that you find yourself doing quite consistently and related to your nutrition. And after you do it, you're like, oh, why did I do that again? Okay. I want you to think of something. Is it stopping at McDonald's on your way home? Is it the way you eat at night? What is it? Okay. Is it taking bites of your kids' food? Is it standing in your pantry before bed? What is it? Is it spoonfuls of peanut butter? And I want to preface also, none of those things are bad. I'm not saying any of those things are bad. I'm just giving you examples because I asked you to ask yourself, right? What are the behaviors that after I do it, I'm like, oh, why do I keep doing that? And often when we want to create weight loss, we're like, oh, I just won't do that anymore. Pardon? Like, it's just that easy? Like, you go on a new program, okay, that you can't eat at night. You just wake up and you tell yourself you're not going to eat at night. Never going to work. It's never going to stick. You didn't figure out why you needed to eat at night. You never unpacked all of that. You didn't change anything. You just put a band-aid on it. So if true behavior change is going to happen, you need to be able to ask yourself why. And what behavior am I doing that does not align with the path that I want to go on? And why do I keep making that? And once you understand that, I want you to ask yourself a few layers of why. Another thing that happened is there was one prompt, I think it was yesterday. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, this was a really good one, if I might say so myself. What foods or habits make me feel energized? I actually really enjoyed that one. I was like, ooh, this is a fun question. And so I wrote movement. Movement makes me feel energized. Eating nutrient dense food makes me feel energized. Drinking water, sunshine, efficiency makes me feel energized, but not rushed. Efficiency, but not rushed. And then the question said, it didn't ask me this, but then I asked myself, why am I not always prioritizing this then? And for me, it was more the nutrient dense foods. And I eat quite nutrient dense, but there's totally room for improvement. And that's probably the one area of my overall wellness that sometimes I still find myself and I'm like, why am I eating chips right now? Like, I'm not even enjoying that much. I do not like the way they make me feel. I literally can feel the sodium pumping through my veins and my inflammation increasing while I'm doing this. Why am I doing this? And I kind of came to the realization that often when I'm not prioritizing nutrient dense, it's a convenience thing. It's like, well, this food is right here, right now. And so that's really, I'm like, okay, learn from that, Alicia. And now I need to figure out a system within my own life, within my own resources, within my own environment that can work on that, right? And again, back to the conversations I'm having with people. They're like, well, what should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? What's the best way? And like, there's no best way. There's nothing you should do. How you are going to figure out how to make this change in your life is by trying to make change and seeing how it feels. And then guess what happens? When you try to do something different. So maybe you're like, hey, I really want to eat more nutrient dense because I feel energized. But you're like, but I always choose easy. Remember when I talked about making energy balls, homemade energy balls? I'll just grab the granola bar that's in my pantry because it's there. Okay. So that realization is really important. So, oh, I lost my train of thought. Wow. It's coming back. It's coming back, guys. So I'm trying to, it's back, it's back, it's back, it's back. So let's say I decide, oh, this is what you're going to do. You are going to meal prep on a Sunday. Okay. And I try meal prepping on a Sunday and I hate it. I then say to myself, do you know what? That's actually not my system. That's actually not going to work for me. How can I adjust that and try something else to figure this out? Remember when we talked about determination? Yeah, it's going to require determination. And guess what else? You're the driver. I can't make this change for you. If you really, truly want to impact your overall wellness, and potentially that includes weight loss, you need to be the driver. And when you take a turn and it takes you in the wrong direction, you don't just stop. You turn around, you make a U-turn, or maybe just make a slight veer to the side, and then you keep going. That's how it's figured out. But change requires change. You cannot just wake up and say, I'm not going to take extra bites. I'm not going to stand in my pantry. I'm going to go for a walk. You need to then also ask yourself, how can I support myself in this change? What can I do within my own environment that will allow this to be easier? Declaring it isn't enough. Small changes, small baby steps towards the right direction. Great example. So this week was back to school. I want to get back into the early morning gym routine. Well, when it's been summer and you have not woken up that early, like between 6 and 7, I would say I was waking up on average in the summer. But I wasn't going straight to the gym. I was like working or cooking or whatever, right? So if I would have done 5 a.m. straight to the gym, that would have been a little bit of a harsh reality. And some people, again, this is your way. For some people, that like works, right? I just got up at 5 and started working. So I took small steps towards changing my habit. And then next week, I'm going to wake up and go to the gym. But it's not as traumatic because I just spent a week getting up at 5. So my body's already starting to get used to that. So small tweaks, setting up your environment for success, as little as it sounds, guys, as ridiculous as it sounds, this tip's been around there for a million years. Setting out my gym stuff, getting my pre workout ready, always, always gets me out of bed sooner because I set up my environment to make it as efficient and easy and quick as possible to do that thing. Yes, yes. Okay, I feel like I said all the things. I hope that this wasn't too harsh. At the end of the day, when I am having these conversations with you guys, my intention is for you to get the results that you are looking for. I no longer want to see you feeling frustrated that you are not able to unlock what you're looking to unlock. And so that is my intention of being sometimes a little bit of tough love with you guys. All right. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have an amazing weekend. And if you have been flirting with the idea of joining Your Way Weight Loss, the free trial is ending tonight. All right, everyone.